Why don't you just vanish into thin air? My stepdaughter unleashed fury in the heat of battle. Her mother chimed in, "We'd thrive without you." Silence was my weapon as I stuffed my bags, ready to unleash my fury. This morning, my phone erupted with 13 missed calls. The silence before the storm was deafening. A chill ran down my spine the instant I stepped into our living room that Sunday morning. The house was eerily silent, but that was just the beginning. I scanned the room, searching for the source of my unease. Suddenly, it struck me. Every family photo told a different story. I moved in on the massive frame above the fireplace, the one from our trip to Yellowstone last summer, a reminder of what was lost. The photo lingered, a haunting reminder of my absence. Every trace of me erased, leaving haunting voids in our so-called family memories from the last 3 years. I stood there, coffee cup growing cold in my hand, the sound of Stella's door closing upstairs igniting a fire within me. My stepdaughter halted at the top of the stairs, her awareness of my presence unmistakable. With a fierce resolve, she pressed on, phone clutched tightly, avoiding any glance that could betray her fury as she stormed into the kitchen. Morning, I spat, my voice laced with unyielding resolve. The silence that followed crackled with unspoken fury. 3 years. That's how long I had woven myself into Stella's world. 3 years of trust forged through laughter, late-night movies, and quiet support. I was there, always, but now it feels like a cruel game, and I'm ready to turn the tables. At 16, she began to distance herself, and it stung like a dagger. I anticipated the usual teenage defiance, but this was something else entirely. It all began last week when I stepped in to assist with her chemistry project. She fought hard against the subject, but in the end, my thoughts meant nothing. Her response hit hard, a brutal reminder of betrayal. "Quit the act. You don't give a damn about my grades. You're not my real dad." I'd heard it all before, but her tone cut deeper this time, sharp, deliberate, and laced with something darker. Delilah, my wife, stood in the kitchen, silence hanging thick in the air. She must have heard it all, but chose to remain mute. That silence screamed betrayal. The pressure surged all week long. Little things, dishes abandoned in the sink with sharp glares, doors slammed just a touch too forcefully, conversations that fell silent the moment I walked in. Delilah pulled away, dodging every attempt I made to confront the truth. "She's just playing her games, Thomas. Keep your focus off yourself." But last night, everything shattered. Stella broke the rules, texting at dinner. Unforgivable. When I dared to remind her, she smashed her phone to the ground. "Why do you always have to control every move I make? Why can't you just disappear from my life?" "Stella," I began. "I'm ready to take action." "For what purpose?" "Step up, old man." "I've got one already." She rose, the chair screeching in protest. "Why don't you just vanish into thin air? No one needed your effort. You should have known better." "It's disgraceful." I stared at Delilah, anticipating the storm brewing within her eyes. "I should have seen this coming." "Help? Huh. I'll show them what true strength looks like." "Negotiation? Not a chance." She dropped her fork, her voice low but fierce. "Maybe we'd all be better off if you just vanished." The words lingered, thick and suffocating. 3 years of betrayal ignited a fire within me. Stella's laughter at my dad joke ignited something fierce. The night she cried over her first heartbreak, I felt the weight of her pain. And that proud smile from Delilah when Stella chose me to help with her prom dress? It was a moment that burned bright, a reminder of what I had to protect. I rose, my meal untouched, a storm brewing inside me. "Fine." I said it clearly. "What the hell?" Stella stood her ground, but a spark of doubt danced in her eyes, a crack in her fierce facade. "If that's how you want it, fine. Just wait and see." I stormed upstairs to our bedroom and yanked out my old duffel bag. I heard their hushed voices below, but not a single soul dared to come up. As I packed my clothes, I felt a strange calmness in my hands. No tremors. Just determination. A strange calm washed over me. When I stepped down, Stella had vanished, likely retreating to her room. Delilah loomed in the kitchen doorway, arms crossed, a storm brewing within her. So you're really just walking away? Is that really all you've got? You claimed you'd thrive without me, while I stood there, heart racing, searching for my keys and wallet. I won't forget that. That's not. I didn't mean. She halted, a fierce mix of pride and anger gripping her, silencing the words that burned to escape. I grabbed my bag, ready for what comes next. I'll be at Ryan's. Just wait and see. I'll find a way to make this last. Just wait. I hesitated at the threshold. Stella's words cut deep, leaving a mark that won't fade. But hearing you say yes? It ignites a fire within me. You shattered something inside me, Del. I sped to Ryan's place, heart pounding with unspoken fury. He glanced my way, and without a word, prepared his guest room. The silence screamed volumes. That's the kind of friend he really is. I switched off my phone, swallowing a sleeping pill from my hidden stash. Silence enveloped me, but the storm inside was just beginning. This morning, I woke up to sunlight piercing through strange curtains, igniting a fire within me. As I powered on my phone, it detonated with a barrage of notifications, each one a reminder of the chaos I had missed. 13 missed calls. 8 from Delilah. 3 from Stella. 2 from my sister Quinn. They think they can just reach out? They have no idea what's coming for them. 27 messages. Each one a dagger, each one a reminder. The silence will be deafening. For messages, each a reminder of betrayal. I haven't given them a chance yet. Here I am in Ryan's guest room, staring at the morning traffic, haunted by the voids in our family photos. They remind me of what was taken from us. Perhaps they lurked in the shadows all along, and I was too blind to face the truth. My phone vibrates once more. It's Stella. Get ready. After all that's gone down, I'm fixated on her name flashing on my screen, questioning what could possibly be so critical now. But I won't back down. Not yet. But soon, they'll regret underestimating me. Sometimes the hardest thing is not turning back. It's deciding if you should turn around and face the storm. Update 1. Thanks for the support on my last post. But trust me, this is just the beginning. I never saw this coming. The reaction hit me like a storm. I've seen the messages. No replies yet. And yes, I'm still at Ryan's. Just wait. This morning felt like a trap, me feigning interest in work while my phone taunted me, begging for a reckoning. Then Ryan unleashed chaos over breakfast. Miles is back, he declared, slamming his phone onto the table. A photo of Stella's biological father appeared on Facebook, tagged at a local restaurant just 2 weeks ago. The betrayal stings, igniting a fire within. The same Miles who's dodged child support for 3 long years. The very Miles who let Stella's last 4 birthdays slip away unnoticed. In an instant, it all clicked into place. I scrolled through my texts once more, each message a dagger in my heart. Delilah's messages turned fierce, exposing Thomas for the coward he was, fleeing instead of facing the storm. Just tell us you're alive. We need to know. In the depths of her latest read, a truth lurks, waiting to be unleashed. It's about Stella. Call me. Now. Quinn stormed in at noon, coffee in hand and that fierce, determined glare that screams she's ready to shake things up in my world. You look like hell, she declared, crashing onto Ryan's couch with a fierce intensity. You're welcome. Always a pleasure to see you, sis. Just wait for the day I get my payback. Her lips remained a tight line. I confronted Stella at the mall yesterday. Now you've got my full focus. How is she now? Is she suffering? I want to know. She met Miles for coffee, oblivious to my presence. Quinn studied my every move, waiting for the spark of fury to ignite. She glared. Not a chance. Do you see that fire in her eyes? It's like she's holding back a storm, fighting the urge to unleash her true feelings. I felt the weight of her words, sharp and clear. It's the same fierce spark Stella had when she snagged that summer program spot last year, a moment that ignited everything. She trembled, terrified to trust that something good could finally be hers. Can you believe he's been texting her for months? The betrayal runs deep. Quinn vowed to set the record straight, and this time, Nothing would stand in their way. My stomach churned with fury. I glanced at Stella's Instagram, a rare move for me. Her latest post flaunted a photo of her and Miles, captioned "Real Family Time." The betrayal stung like a knife. Heart emojis flooded the comments, but her friends were blissfully unaware of the dark history lurking beneath. Ryan, who had been silently observing, finally broke his silence. Remember the chaos when he last appeared, back when Stella was just 13? I won't forget. Miles stormed in with empty vows, lingered for a fleeting 2 weeks, then vanished without a trace. Stella lay in bed, consumed by darkness, refusing to face the world after that betrayal. Delilah and I fought for months, tearing down walls and rebuilding trust. I showed her she was enough, that she deserved so much more. Just like that, my phone buzzed with a message from Delilah. He's proposing she move in with him, and shockingly, she's actually thinking about it. Thomas, I get it. You're furious with me. But she deserves you. Don't let that anger blind you. I began to type, fury igniting my fingers, but erased every word. Not today. What can I even say? You wanted me gone, but now you crave my return? This whole situation is a twisted betrayal. Another notification flashed, Stella's latest Instagram story. The urge to see it was electric, a spark of fury igniting within me. Brochures scattered like shattered dreams, a bold declaration. A storm is brewing. It's time to carve out the true path, no matter the cost. Those were Miles's words, etched in her mind from 3 years ago, just before he vanished across the country, abandoning Stella and her desperate calls. Quinn caught a glimpse of the storm brewing within me. What's on your mind? I'm haunted by the day I married Delilah, I said with a fierce intensity. Recall Stella's words in her speech, family can strike when you least expect it, turning your world upside down. And now, she's flaunting her true family and her genuine journey, while Miles pretends to be the perfect dad. He's twisted her mind. I froze when my phone blared to life. Unfamiliar call. Thomas, it's Miss Anderson from Riverside High. Remember me? You will. I am the one who guides Stella. This is urgent. We need to talk about the shocking shifts in Stella's academic path and her troubling behavior. Can you make it in tomorrow morning? I stepped into the meeting, heart pounding with fury. Stella had fought tooth and nail for straight A's since freshman year, her eyes set on a prestigious college. But the stakes were higher than anyone knew. What could have been different? Once I ended the call, Quinn and Ryan's eyes were locked on me, filled with anticipation. What now? Quinn demanded. It's time to break the silence. I grabbed my phone and hit play on Stella's voicemail, ready for the storm to unfold. Her voice trembled, a stark contrast to the fierce confidence she usually wielded. You probably loathe me now. And I understand, I just can't. I have something to say. Here's the truth behind my words. Miles, a name that echoes with fury and betrayal. Just call me back. You won't regret it. Her voice echoed the desperation of that 13-year-old girl, waiting by the mailbox, clinging to hope for a letter that would never arrive. Tomorrow at 9, I face the guidance counselor. It's time to confront the past. Now, it's time to lay it all bare. Disappearing reveals the truth, sharpening your vision from afar. It's a brutal clarity that cuts deep. The school's number lingers on my screen, a reminder of what was taken from me. A text notification from Miles flashes in the family group chat I'm still trapped in. Prepare for a shocking revelation at dinner tomorrow night. I can sense the storm brewing, and I know what's coming. It's time for reckoning. I refuse to be a victim of the past again. Update 2. The storm is brewing, and I won't hold back. This time, it's personal. I've been wrestling with this update for an hour, and now it's time to unleash the truth. The encounter with Miss Anderson shattered my expectations, igniting a chain of events that would change everything. Let's rewind to the start. I stood at Riverside High, a silent witness to the chaos of students racing to first period. Stella's classmates shot me quick glances, their whispers revealing the poison of rumors already spreading about my absence. I felt the fire ignite within me. Miss Anderson struck like a viper the moment I took my seat. Stella made her move yesterday, pulling the plug on her advanced placement classes. A bold decision, but one that echoes with the promise of retribution. She smirked, pushing the form across her desk with a flick of her wrist. She's cutting ties with French club and student council. No more playing nice. When I demanded an explanation, she coldly revealed she's leaving for another school next semester. A weight crushed my chest. These were the programs Stella had clawed her way into, the extracurriculars she had staked everything on for her college dreams. But wait, there's more, Miss Anderson declared, her eyes glinting with a fierce determination. Last week, she demanded I send my transcripts to 3 schools in California. Little did she know, I have plans of my own. She halted, eyes locked on me, a storm brewing beneath her calm facade. The very city where Miles claimed his territory. That's when everything began to unravel. I whipped out my phone, thrusting Miles's explosive announcement text in her face. So, he's starting a new venture, huh? Interesting. She nodded, a fierce determination burning in her eyes. Stella dropped a bomb about a startup, claiming her father is desperate for family investors to launch it. The stakes are high and the tension is palpable. The gut-wrenching sensation surged back, just like 3 years ago when Miles twisted Delilah's trust, luring her into funding his doomed scheme. Money vanished, leaving only a burning desire for retribution. I stormed out of the school and sped home, fueled by a fire within me. Delilah's car sat in the driveway, a silent witness to the storm brewing inside. I caught a glimpse of her, pacing furiously in the kitchen, phone pressed to her ear, oblivious to the reckoning that awaited her. She saw me and flung the door wide open, no hesitation, no fear. The game was on. He dared to ask her for money. She declared it without hesitation, her college fund. He's been spinning a web of deceit, luring her in with empty promises about the tech startup. Invest now, he says, and she'll have the fortune to choose any college she desires. But she'll soon learn the truth, and the betrayal will cut deep. Where is she hiding? Coffee with Miles. A bitter brew, a reckoning awaits. Once more, Delilah's voice shattered. I warned her it was a trap, but she twisted my words, claiming I was just bitter he was finally taking action. She claimed he at least has faith in her dreams. But little did he know, she was plotting her rise while he slept. I took my place at the kitchen counter, the very spot where everything shattered just a week ago. Why didn't you warn me he returned? I thought I could manage it, believed that keeping them apart would work, but she just shook her head. Then you clashed with Stella, and her words cut deep, leaving me seething. I was terrified, so I chose her. I couldn't bear the thought of losing her to him entirely. Just as I was about to speak, the front door swung wide open. Stella stormed in, her breath hitching as our eyes locked. She appeared transformed, makeup flawless, draped in the lavish jacket Miles surely gifted her, yet her eyes burned with a fierce, haunting sorrow. What are you doing here? You think you can just show up like nothing happened? You have no idea what's coming for you. She asked, but her voice lacked the usual bite. So you're just dropping your AP classes, huh? Bold move. I held back my fury. What did they do to Stanford? Plans shatter. She whispered, avoiding my gaze, a storm brewing beneath her silence. Dad speaks. Miles declares. I set the record straight, no hesitation. A shadow crossed her face. He has allies in the shadows. The startup will rise, no doubt. Watch as it crushes the competition and takes what's rightfully ours. Was the classic car dealership really a sure thing? Or the food truck empire? I yanked open my laptop, revealing the documents I'd meticulously collected all morning, ready for reckoning. I uncovered the truth. Curious about Miles's business. Registration status? Let's uncover the truth. Or his damn credit report. Or perhaps the 3 looming lawsuits from his last so-called guaranteed investment. Stella's hands shook with fury as she grabbed the laptop. With every click, every document, the mask shattered, revealing the truth beneath. As she faced the lawsuit from his former stepdaughter's grandmother, demanding repayment of borrowed college funds, the first tear shattered her resolve. He said, and she clenched her jaw. He claims he's different now. He craves to reclaim every second wasted. If only we had the chance to be a true family. She halted, her gaze piercing through me like a dagger. The shattered memories. He dared me to prove my loyalty to him. You were the reason he kept his distance, because you stole his spot. Oh, darling. Delilah advanced, but Stella retreated, heart pounding with defiance. I knew, she hissed. I always felt it lurking beneath the surface. I craved the truth, but it slipped through my fingers like sand. Her phone buzzed, another message from Miles. The nerve of him. She glared at it, a fire igniting within her, before she shut it down for good. I have to go, she declared fiercely, storming toward the stairs. I need to plot my next move. We set her free. Sometimes, the greatest gift is the silence that screams for justice. Time dragged on. Delilah and I finally faced each other, raw and unfiltered, after weeks of silence. We laid bare our fears, our mistakes, the tangled mess of Stella and Miles, and the truth about us. Just past midnight, I was about to leave for Ryan's when Stella's message flashed on my screen. I ruined it all, and now everything's in chaos. Can we have a real conversation? Not about Miles, not about money, just the truth. Do you recall those ice cream trips after my dance classes? You listened while I unleashed my fury over school drama. Can we make that happen? I know I shouldn't feel this way, but the fire inside me burns too bright to ignore. Here I am, parked outside the ice cream shop, the lights dimmed and the door locked. But the owner? He knows us all too well. 3 years we've endured this place. He's keeping the doors open just for our return. Stella arrived, the engine roaring like a battle cry from her mom's car. She's out there, steeling herself to step inside, just as I am, ready for the storm to break. Midnight mint chocolate chip ice cream. A small step, but the hardest truths are about to be unleashed. Prepare for the storm. That night at the ice cream shop? It shattered everything. Revenge is brewing, and I won't forget. Stella ranted for hours about Miles's deceit, her fears, her guilt, but it was the fleeting words she dropped that ignited a fire within me. Miles relentlessly pushed her to persuade her friend's parents to back his startup. The pressure was suffocating. A spark ignited. The lawsuits flashed in my mind, a chilling pattern of families torn apart through their children. The rage I had buried deep surged forth, finally igniting with purpose. Believe me, I chose my words with precision. What he's doing is a betrayal that demands retribution. It's forbidden. Stella glared at her melting ice cream, a storm brewing within her. What are you trying to say? I laid bare the truth of securities fraud and the unauthorized schemes. Her eyes flared with shock as she whipped out her phone, revealing group chats where Miles had brazenly targeted minors for investments. That night, after I dropped Stella off, I unleashed my fury with a few calls. Quinn's got a connection at the SEC, while Ryan's tied to the DA's office. The game is on. By morning, I was ready to strike. Miles was blindsided. He was consumed by his grand announcement dinner, plotting to manipulate Stella into surrendering her college fund. He'd gone so far as to invite her friends' parents, adding more names to his list of potential targets. The dinner was at a lavish restaurant, a perfect setting for the storm brewing beneath the surface. Miles thrived, spinning tales of Silicon Valley ties and promises of riches, but beneath it all, a storm brewed, ready to unleash its fury. I bided my time, letting the appetizers arrive, then I rose, ready to unleash my fury. Hold on, I said, there are some who want to crash our party. Just like that, 2 federal agents and a state investigator stormed in. Miles's expression shifted from arrogance to bewilderment, then to sheer panic in an instant. Miles had a web of deceit, and this was just the beginning. 7 schemes, 3 states, deception runs deep. Justice is coming. Each time he crossed paths with Stella, it was a trap for the unsuspecting, a dark game of vengeance waiting to unfold. The classic car dealership that stole Delilah's savings, a piece of a twisted fraud plot. The food truck franchise, a relentless cycle of betrayal. But here's the twisted beauty. He had let his guard down, and now he would pay. He recorded every detail in texts and emails to Stella, convinced she would always have his back. How wrong he was. With a single click, she condemned him to his reckoning. The parents at the dinner? They think they know everything. But tonight, the truth will cut deeper than any knife on that table. They were betraying me. Every promise shattered, every lie exposed, every illegal scheme captured in cold, hard evidence. Miles bolted, crashing into a waiter, desperation fueling his escape toward the door. He barely made it 3 steps before security seized him, the taste of betrayal sharp in the air. As they dragged him off, he shot Stella that same deceitful puppy dog look, the one that had ensnared her heart time and again. This is no misunderstanding. You'll see. Just wait. Let them know I'm the one who brought you into this world. Stella rose, defiant and unyielding. My father's right here, she said, gripping my hand tightly. And he stood there, relishing every moment as you finally faced the consequences of your actions. The fallout was explosive. Headlines scream, voices rise, and families unite in fury. The investigators uncovered a staggering $2.3 million in stolen funds, a betrayal that cuts deep. Miles faces a long, dark road ahead, 15, maybe 20 years of reckoning. His startup was a facade, nothing more than a hollow website and pilfered images of a real tech giant's domain. The true triumph lay not in seeing Miles in handcuffs. It was the fleeting moments that came next, each one a reminder of what was lost. Stella gathered every photo of her and Miles, sealed them in a box, and handed it over to the prosecution. A silent declaration of war. Proof, she declared, a flicker of her former smirk lingering. She fought her way back into the AP classes. The school showed some sympathy, but it won't be enough to erase the scars left behind. Her friends' parents didn't just get mad, they turned their fury into action, creating a support group for families shattered by the same deceit. A spark of hope from the ashes of despair. Last night, Stella dared to ask for my help with her college essays. Text, I've got a story that will shake you to your core, she declared. Who else can claim the thrill of dismantling their own father's deceitful empire? Delilah and I are facing the storm together. Trust shattered, wounds raw. The battle for redemption begins. Seeing her shove those photos of me back into the family albums, meticulously aligning each one, spoke volumes beyond mere words. This morning, Stella stormed down for breakfast, ready to face the day with a fire in her eyes. She clutched an envelope tightly, a storm brewing within her. This was waiting for me in my room, she said, pushing it across the table with a fierce determination. Miles demanded I mail it last week. It's the paperwork for his startup, but it's more than just that, it's a chance for reckoning. I figured you might want to throw it into the evidence pile. I stared at the envelope, then shot her a piercing glance. Ready to hand it over to the investigators? Let's do this together. She grinned, that raw, unfiltered smile I had longed for. Ice cream after? Absolutely. But only if you're ready for what's coming next. Some might call it excessive, but they don't know the pain that fueled it. Blood ties run deep, but betrayal cuts deeper. True family doesn't plot against your destiny. True family stands guard, ready to strike back. Even if it means standing against my own blood to shield you. Miles will face his reckoning next month. Stella's ready to unleash her words, a fierce declaration of pain and power. She's poured her heart into it for weeks, meticulously crafting every word, ready to unleash her fury. She dared to ask me for a favor yesterday. It demands a fierce conclusion, she declared. I refuse to be his victim any longer. She's already discovered her fate. She stands tall now, a fierce warrior, guiding others to see the lies hidden in those glossy brochures on her desk. Her true journey, the one Miles could never understand. Sometimes, moving on means ensuring the past pays for its pain. Sometimes, the ultimate revenge is not merely witnessing their downfall. It flourishes in spite of their attempts to crush it. Tonight, the family gathers. Secrets simmer and tensions rise. Only the 3 of us left to settle the score. Stella's whipping up her legendary pasta sauce, The one we perfected together in those long, locked-down nights. Ordinary, dull, yet somehow infuriating family moments. That's the kind of reflection Miles will stew over in the darkness of a cell.